our colleague Pete Comeau, Managing Director, who's been with us for every stage of this road trip. So over to you, Pete.
Good evening, Singapore and APAC region. Once again, I am pleased to share some key data and trends focused on the consumer. Travelers are waiting to get on your planes, stay in your rooms, take your tours, and dine in your restaurants. We just have to know how they will return so we can prepare the welcome mat for them. The Western markets are giving us a lens into what recovery looks like. In the US, travelers are overwhelming the suppliers who are struggling to meet the pent-up demand. Canceled flights are up significantly as the airlines try to staff back up. Resort destinations are full and asking for a premium price. Europe, while a few months behind the US, is looking like it will follow some of the same trends. For our fifth session of Stats and Stuff, I will once again share 5 charts in 5 minutes to give you a sense of how the traveler will lead us into recovery. First, let us reflect on the soul of the traveler. Travel has always been a great unifier, and despite the pause over the last 18 months as we've battled COVID, it remains a big part of most people's lives. So when a majority of consumers consistently tell Phocuswright that leisure travel remains an important piece of their lifestyle, it doesn't surprise us at all. Travel remains and will continue to be an important part of most people's identity. In our U.S. consumer travel survey conducted in the spring of this year, a majority of U.S. consumers told us earlier in the year that they intended to travel in 2021. Only 7% were absolutely firm that they wouldn't be taking any trips. Obviously, domestic intent was much stronger, given that most borders were and continue to remain closed. But overall, it is a positive sign for the future of travel. After spending a long time at home, people are ready to get back out and see the world. Air passenger demand has exceeded all expectations in the U.S. We've seen passenger levels trending strongly upward since early in the year. Most of this, again, is domestic, but where international travel is possible, like to Mexico, leisure demand now is exceeding 2019 levels, to the point that some airlines are having to pull back capacity because other operational areas are not able to keep up. This just proves that pent-up demand is real. But what's driving this upward trend, even though things like mask mandates and limited in-flight service are still in place, we believe vaccines play a huge part in this recovery. We see in the U.S. as vaccination rates have gone up, people have started traveling more. U.S. Travel Association recently said that about 35% of U.S. businesses are engaging in business travel again. Though Phocuswright's projections for the U.S. show a full recovery to pre-pandemic levels as 3 to 4 years away, but the trend is definitely positive. And it bodes well for the rest of the world too. Let's take a look at some key travel markets. Starting with the U.S., gross bookings fell over 60% in 2020 over the previous year to just $156 billion. By the end of 2024, the market is projected to reach $390 billion. But online penetration went from 53 to 56% as travelers turned to websites and mobile amid the lockdown. COVID decimated European travel last year. As with the rest of the world, travel tilted toward online channels as people who were traveling booked from home instead of going through a travel agent or call center. Now, as restrictions are lifted and the great summer vacation season is upon us, travel will make a return. And for the rest of the year, we expect to see gross bookings more than 50% higher than in 2020. And the recovery will continue, though we project it will be slower than in the U.S. And by 2024, gross bookings will be about 90% of pre-pandemic levels. So while the Delta variant threatens to slow recovery here in the U.S. and across Europe, the soul of the traveler and his or her innate desire and need to travel is pushing the industry toward the light at the end of this dark tunnel.